Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the For the Win podcast. I'm your host, David. We got John. We got Henry. This is the world's greatest gaming podcast. And let's get ready to check out what's going on in gaming this week. Lots to talk about. Lots happening. But first, last week was the greatest podcast we've ever done. We interviewed Marty O'Donnell, the creator of the greatest Halo score, the greatest video game score in the world, in my opinion. Right up there. Mario is like right beneath that in terms of fame, but Halo is the greatest and wins everything. We interviewed him for 2 hours. We only showed the first hour, and it was freaking amazing. It was freaking amazing. Let's just do a quick 1 minute around highlight. We're a week away. It happened last week. John, how are you feeling? What's your takeaway?
Yeah, it was amazing just to sit down with such a notable person from the industry and someone that worked on my favorite game of all time. So when the call ended, I just let out this huge, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. So it was really cool. And the response from people that watched the episode loving it is awesome. So, yeah, we talked for 2 hours. We probably could have talked for another hour or so easily. Just reminiscing about Halo and the different good old days and hope for the future and things like that. So yeah, it was incredible.
Nice. Henry?
Yeah, no, it was really great just to hear so many behind the scenes stories when it comes to gaming and movies. That's one of my favorite things is what all goes on to make the final product that we end up getting, what gets left on the cutting room floor, the thought process behind decisions and stuff. So he gave us a lot of really cool information. Some stuff that wasn't even Halo related I thought was really cool. Some stuff about the development of the original Xbox that I hadn't heard anywhere else yet, and so I'm always down to grab new nuggets of the development history of video games, and getting that straight from him was phenomenal to hear. I don't remember how much of it we couldn't share, but a lot of stuff that we did get put into the episode was great. And yeah, we easily could have talked to him for another 2 hours. We were ready for him to be in and out, maybe talk for how long he wanted, and I think we ended it just because it seemed like a courtesy more than anything.
Yeah, I was totally expecting 15-20 minutes, and he was just there to hang out with us and talk. And it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was so good. And what I think a lot of people may not realize is that happened over the course of 24 hours. We weren't planning on having Marty. We weren't expecting to have Marty on the podcast. I literally just tweeted him about this project he was doing, and he actually responded. And so we just moved really quickly. I emailed, said, hey, we can do these times. We locked it in, and it just happened. And so we were not ready to do a full-fledged podcast. And so I just spent the morning of writing up a bunch of questions as best I could, just in case he was ready to just chat. And I asked him for 2 minutes, and he gave us 2 hours. And so, Marty, if you do hear this, we're super grateful. And I, like you, Henry, I love nerding out. Part of what didn't get posted is we even talked about Halo CE and the sound effects. And just getting
parts.
We might be able to release a snippet of that, but just talking about all the nuance of the sound effects and how they were made, and how we got down to the nitty gritty of the menus and the selection screen and the sound effect when you click A on something, when you go back on something, and just we talked for 30 minutes about just main menu stuff, which I was just geeking out. And
the respawn sounds, like when you asked him about the if he was the one behind for the countdown, and he's like, yeah, that was me, and it's like, God,
that's crazy. And we're just like, that's one of the most iconic Halo things ever, the boop 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 boop. And we talked about that, and that to me was like, this is crazy to just like hear it from the person. So it was the best time. And to everyone who listened, left a comment, thank you. We're like, that motivated me to get more guests and more people like that, so we can have cool interviews and talk about that kind of stuff. So my hope, as we kind of wrap up this Marty segment, my hope is maybe one day we can get Marty on again, and I would love to do like a deeper dive into some of that stuff where we were nerding out about the menus, about the sound effects, about all the audio of Halo 1, 2, and 3, and that kind of stuff. That to me was just like, it's super niche, like it's extremely niche, but it was also some of my absolute favorite conversation that we had. So it was awesome, man. Huge highlight. Yeah, excited. So lots going on in gaming. Just a reminder, if you do want to support the podcast, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever the heck. It all really helps if you comment. It all helps for the algorithm. Super appreciate it. The new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has been leaked. While Activision has yet to confirm the game, Call of Duty's upcoming title, Modern Warfare 3, has been leaked thanks to Monster Energy's promotional packaging. A tweet came out, and some random person at like a 7-Eleven saw some Monster Energy drink packaging with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 promo on it. How funny is that? Also, you called it, John.
Yeah, I remember this was one of the perks of working at Blockbuster back in the day. We would get all of these promos come in for displays and stuff. So what is this going to be? This can't be more multiplayer, right? Is it just a campaign?
From my perception, based off of what they said about MW2 last year when that came out, it's going to be DLC. And so it's going to be a new campaign and probably some multiplayer stuff where if you buy, the campaign, you get access to, I don't know if it's going to be a whole new multiplayer experience or if they're just going to add on to the multiplayer experience and then have a new campaign. I think that's the plan. If we look at the leaked monster stuff, there is a QR code. Has anyone tried to scan that, see what happens yet?
Oh, no, I didn't realize that. We should try and scan that.
Yeah.
We'll see what it is. We'll see what happens with it. But exciting. It's been an exciting week for Call of Duty fans because you can dust off your old Xbox 360 game discs because Xbox 360 Call of Duty servers are back online, and now gamers are flooding back to previous Call of Duty titles. Around the time that Microsoft Activision deal was coming to a close, players started to notice old Call of Duty servers working again and filling up with players. So as of last week, there was some player counts reported. Black Ops 1 had 123,000 roughly players in it. Black Ops 2 had 11,000 players in it. Modern Warfare 3 had 79,000 players in it, which is all up way more than the brand new Call of Duty. What is it? Modern Warfare 2 or whatever?
Yeah.
Or what's the current one? More than they were doing on a weekend. And just goes to show you, man, people want that stuff. People want to play it.
Yeah, I hopped on Modern Warfare 2. All the Call of Duty games were like on sale last week. They might still be, I'm not sure. But I got Modern Warfare 2, hopped on. It literally took 20 seconds to hear the first N-word with like the hardest R. And then the second game ended with a tactical nuke. And I was just like, man, This takes me back. This is Call of Duty, man. This is what it was all
Oh my
about.
gosh.
But it also reminded me of like their terrible practice of having additional maps be like paid DLC. Because I bought Modern Warfare 2, but there's like 3 additional map packs that were all $10. They're all on sale for $10
Ugh.
each. And so I'm like, okay, so if I want all the maps, I'm still spending like $40 to get this game. Um, and so like I always hated it back then because all it did was just break up the player base. So some people had the maps, so like the DLC maps always had fewer people playing it than the base game. So I was like, man, I'm so glad we got away from that, and like that's not like a thing anymore. Like the multiplayer maps should be free to everyone so that the populations are as big as possible so games are found quickly, and everyone can just keep playing faster. But
Yeah, that's a lot of the feedback I've been hearing is people are just again sick of skill-based matchmaking. When they go back and play these games, they realize, oh, I can just get in a game. Oh, I can just get in a game. And especially like for like top tier players, which would not be myself, but you know, there gets a point. Halo Infinite has a massive problem with this, where you get so high up, it takes you 20 plus minutes to find a game, and even then, you might get, you know, put with players who are going to make you lose anyway. So, it's refreshing to see.
The thing that drives me nuts about skill based matchmaking, and this somebody as that's just a competitive player, not a top tier competitive player in like anything, but like, you know, all three of us have this that competitive drive, but there's sometimes we don't want to try hard. You know what I mean? There's when you have skill based matchmaking, it takes away the ability to just have fun. There's always this like anxiety because if you lose, it's gonna tank your rank. You're gonna start, you know, pairing up with garbage player. It's it sounds like it's a good idea, but it, as we've found out over the last like what 5 years or so, it's not. It's really horrible actually.
and it was crazy too, just how good the social features were in those games. I mean, just in Modern Warfare 2, like the ability to just keep playing with the same people if you're like in an unranked match, like the social matches, you can just keep playing with the same group of people. And like it might switch up the teams, like a top scorer on the other team or whatever. But it's like you would go game to game, and like I was playing with the same people, and there's actually like communication happening between us. And then like even just the ability to veto maps, it's like where is that in like
Yeah.
Infinite right now? And uh yeah, so it just reminded me like how there was a reason why like Call of Duty like got so popular and like exploded in those early games.
I was telling Allison the other day that I feel that the peak of gaming was at, honestly, the Xbox 360 era. Like, we had DLC, we had online play, we had voice communication, we had party chat, we had everything good we have today, but like we hadn't been nickel and dimed yet. Um, like games came out and they were functional, and there wasn't the expectation of a day one patch. We didn't have loot boxes. It was just every, like, that's when gaming had peaked, and now it's turning into its what it is now, and for better for worse. So I feel like the 360 era, that like 10 years or so, that almost 10 years, it was 8 years on the market, like that was the
Yeah,
peak of it.
it's so interesting to me like how much money is now like it's such a bigger industry now too, and there's so much money flowing into the development of these games, and they're launching broken and missing tons of features that were in games that released, 10 years ago. And it's like where is all this money going? Like, are the development costs like actually that high, or is there a lot of wasted money? I know marketing is also like a huge chunk of change, but like, what is happening just like at the studios that this games are just so poorly made now and so featureless compared to the 360 era?
We had the privilege of living through that era at a time where we had pretty, minimal responsibilities too. It was a great time for gaming. It was a great time for gamers all over the world. Xbox Live Gold will die on September 1 and will not respawn. Microsoft has announced a new version of Xbox Game Pass that will replace Xbox Live Gold and confirmed that the Games with Gold program is ending later this year. Existing Xbox Live Gold members will be converted into Game Pass Core subscribers once the new service launches. How do we feel about the rebrand?
It's not the first time. There was just Xbox Live before, then became Xbox Live Silver and Gold. Does Silver even exist anymore, or is it just like
no?
Yeah, no. See, so is this new? Like no, it's just we're just changing the name. Like
Games with Gold dying is kind of sad though. I like getting my free games.
They've apparently
Free.
they basically have like ran out. Like I saw some like Microsoft talking about this like last year. They're talking about the fact that they've already of the games that they have the license to give out. They've done them all at this point. Like
that makes sense because going on
it's been years,
a decade almost.
Yeah,
I've been downloading free games every month.
Yeah, it's been literally a whole like more than one whole generation.
Yeah, it seems like they've been scraping the bottom of the barrel for the Games with Gold. Like, I don't remember the last time. The
wells run dry. I'm sorry. It's not that big. To me, it's not that big a deal. It's like they've been doing this for like over a decade, giving you free games every month. And yeah, they're out of games. Like people would complain if they double dipped and like, well, you can download this one again. People are like, oh, you can't please everyone. That's no matter what, right? So
yeah. I will miss just the Xbox Live name, just the Live.
Yeah.
Because that was always like very cool to me. Even going all the way back and like seeing like Unreal Championship as like one of the first like Xbox Live titles, and it just like meant like this whole like online world like existed, and like I just have so many thoughts and memories just with like Xbox Live, and like
the branding of it was perfect. It really just sets it up for what it is, and
yeah.
But I feel like at the same time, everything is expected to be online now. So like you don't really have to say, oh, it's live. That's the expectation. Yeah. When something isn't live, it's like, why does this game not have a live service for my gachas? I need that. Like, so it's I feel the brand to Game Pass it makes sense with the current times. I also just looked it up. Game Pass, Games with Gold is over 10 years old now. Starting in June 2013 is when they started giving out games.
Yeah.
So, first game being Fable 3.
Trash.
Do you guys remember? I used to work at Blockbuster when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. We got tons and tons, probably 30 to 40 copies of Grand Theft Auto to rent at my store.
Dang.
And they all came with a case, and in the case had the manual for the game, but every Grand Theft Auto 4 came with 1 month of Xbox Live Gold. And so when they came in, I went through, grabbed, I don't even know how many 1 months I ended up with, and then went to another Blockbuster down the street, just went through and picked. So I was set for like a long time,
years,
just on 1 month. And I remember playing Halo 3, and I would like pass out 1 months to like people that I would meet like through Halo 3. They're like, oh yeah, my gold is expiring or whatever. And I'm like, here, I'll message you a 1 month code and like keep playing and stuff.
That was pretty common
Yeah.
in Halo
Yeah.
3. That was pretty common terminology you hear thrown around. Hey, you got a 1 month? Like there'd be
Yeah,
guys
I
who get,
remember that.
hey, can I get a 1 month? You got any 1 months? And
Yeah.
I got
Were we
gifted one
all
before.
just struggling back then? It just makes me wonder. Like,
It's high school
like,
kids, right?
right? So like,
Yeah.
just think about now. I'm like, oh, Game Pass just auto renews, and I don't even know how much it costs anymore. It just comes out of my bank account. And back then, it was like, it was just having to scrounge
Month to
around
month,
for internet
scraping
strangers,
by.
month to month. Xbox
I mean, I
Live.
was working like 25 to 30 hours a week at like $9.63 an hour.
That's
like,
more than I was making at Starbucks at that same time. I was getting effed so hard.
And yet, it was some of the best gaming times ever.
It was. I remember picking up
man.
GTA 4 from the Blockbuster you worked at, John, because I pre-ordered it there. And
yeah, Charlie did too.
Do you remember the pre-order bonus? Like, it was. I think Charlie might have picked up my copy for me. I don't remember. Or like, there was something.
He got it on PS3.
I think Charlie might have picked up my copy, but he left my pre-order bonus. I had to go pick it up from you later. It was. Do you remember it? It was like the. It was like a framed picture of Nico.
Yeah.
like I think the Liberty City Bridge or something behind him, and just like it was like a framed photo of him. And that was on my windowsill for years. Just Nico, a framed photo.
We had a copy of somebody pre-ordered like the lockbox, like Ultimate Special Edition. And they never picked it up, and it sat like in our store for a very long time. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I want to say that one's pretty hard to come by these days. I never see it anywhere. But
Sony admits defeat and signs Microsoft deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. The news was announced on Sunday by Microsoft's gaming head Phil Spencer. He said, "We are pleased to announce that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard." Spencer tweeted, "We look forward to the future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games." It looks like it's all coming to a nice little close here for Microsoft, guys. Any thoughts?
I mean, I think we expected this to happen. For Microsoft to take Call of Duty off of PlayStation consoles, one, it makes absolutely no financial sense, and then two, it makes absolutely no reputational sense. Their reputation with PlayStation owners and gamers alike would just be in the can if they decided to just all of a sudden take it. And
right,
it was never even on the table, in my opinion.
Exactly. No, it would make the most sense that they know that they can't convert all PlayStation gamers over to an Xbox just for Call of Duty. So might as well leave it there so they can still make money off of it. Like, I don't know. Personally, it feels like an extra win when you're making money from your rival. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so.
Handheld consoles will need easily switchable batteries by 2027, says the new European Union regulation. A newly passed EU regulation has stated that an appliance's portable battery will need to be readily removable and replaceable by the end user by 2027, something that is not currently offered by devices like the Switch. Interesting thing to see. The government coming into play here with like the console gaming market. I actually love the idea of having like batteries that you can swap out. I think as a portable, someone who has a Switch, I think it'd be great to take have 3 or 4 batteries that you can take on the road with you. But interesting that they're bringing this into law.
It falls under like right to repair, and I'm a big pusher for right to repair when it comes to stuff. Nintendo's obsession with security bits has always been annoying, but that's not the biggest deal. One thing with the Switch is like, yeah, it has a changeable battery already that you can do, but it is a pain in the butt to do, and it involves completely disassembling your Switch almost. Yeah, I don't know if you've looked into like how you have to do it. It's one, it voids your warranty. Two, you have to like almost completely take it apart. You have to like use isopropyl alcohol to remove like a thermal pad and a bunch of other stuff. It's not exactly an easy process.
So that is not readily removable.
Right.
No.
Yeah, like it's doable, but like you probably shouldn't if you don't trust yourself with a screwdriver, which unfortunately a lot of Americans probably shouldn't use a screwdriver.
Grand Theft Auto hacker will not stand trial. The 18-year-old hacker who leaked 90 clips and pictures of Grand Theft Auto 6 will not stand trial due to being deemed psychiatrically unfit. Kurtaj will not be found guilty or not guilty by a jury. Instead, they'll only determine whether or not he committed the hacking. This sounds like he got a great lawyer to me.
I haven't followed the exact story on like what happened and how he accessed it. Because it's one thing to leak data, leak information, and it's another to obtain it yourself. Those are two different, like, I don't even want to use the word offenses, but they're two different.
The article says, if I remember correctly, he actually basically like hacked into Rockstar's like servers or something, and he took files from their computers and then leaked them on the internet of Grand Theft Auto 6. And of course they immediately shut it down and pressed charges. But now apparently he's fit to do some crazy hacking, but he's unfit to stand trial. So kind of interesting. I don't think it's good, but also I'm like, yeah, it's a video game. Like, don't ruin his life. Just like, make him pay a big fine or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it.
Rockstar said there was a network intrusion. Yeah. And he was able to get early development footage. So this like leaked, the setting for the game, which it's going back to Vice City, playable character, female protagonist, animation tests, level layouts, some gameplay demonstrations. So all kinds of information. I didn't look at any of the leaked stuff because I don't totally want it spoiled for myself, but because it is kind of a game that I'll buy as soon as it comes out and play it. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it regardless. Like, I haven't looked
at it. It's a long
time
either. Coming. GTA 5 came out in 2013.
And apparently the development on 6 started in 2014. So like
Good
that's
Lord.
That's 9 years of dev. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I bought GTA 5 on the 360.
Mm-hmm.
Got almost like finished with it, and then the Xbox One came out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do an upgraded version." And then I bought it again. I bought the Xbox One version. And then I think I just got it was on Game Pass, so I just downloaded the series version of it and loaded that up and was messing around with it a little bit.
I've been playing it again. I've been playing some more. I have a fleet of monster trucks outside the strip club.
Oh,
Call of Duty Mobile Pro Mago, who got kicked from his team right before the Call of Duty Championships. He competed at a local McDonald's with a different team after ordering his go-to double McChicken, he then went on to beat the team that dropped him. This is the craziest story from esports in a while. And there's a video
because
here.
there's a double McChicken? That's
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What is that?
You can do that?
I think so. But the
I
best
I was
part
at
is
McDonald's today.
I'm getting that tomorrow.
Ah. I had a quarter
Also,
pounder.
mobile championships.
Yeah.
That's a
Dude,
thing.
COD Mobile is legit. Like, I still play it. Like, if you imagine any gun and perk you wanted from one of the from any and map from Call of Duty on the old style ones, not the ones that started in 2019, the old engine, any gun and any perk you want and any map, it's there. It's just there. Like,
Wow.
it's got everything. And it's also got Battle Royale mode.
And you're playing with a controller, though, right?
You can play with a touchscreen or a controller. You can just have a Bluetooth controller. I play with an Xbox 360 controller
Let's check
on
out
my
this
phone.
clip. This is him playing at the
McDonald's
on the McDonald's Wi-Fi, and he beat his ex team that dropped him right before the competition. Check it out.
McDonald's. We don't have anything else.
And so then you got picked up by this team and you were playing out of McDonald's and you happened to beat the team that dropped you. Is that how that went down?
Okay, so yeah, the story is like this. So I go to McDonald's, I have a little bit better Wi-Fi, and I start playing there, and we beat the team that they dropped me. So yeah, what's crazy as fuck? I just get crazy. I say like, oh my god, bro, this is history, bro. Like for real, man.
What a legend! What a
go back real
legend.
quick. Look.
What?
He's not playing with a controller. When he
No,
gives
I
the
don't
thumbs
think
up,
he
look at
was.
his thumbs. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
freeze
he
frame.
has little. He has gloves like thumb gloves.
Yeah,
Look,
because I play with I play with on my screen when I'm like waiting places. I'll play around if I'm like at a restaurant waiting for my food or something, and like it plays fine on touchscreen. I'm surprised he's not using a controller.
yeah,
Because you can do that. It's just baked into the game.
Yeah, he's got his trigger thumb. He's got a little glove on it. He's ready to go, man. That's crazy.
Awesome.
What a legend. And the redemption of beating the team that drops you. It's got to feel sweet, man. Sweet victory.
As sweet as a McDouble.
I hope he celebrated with a grimace shake. He deserves it.
Right.
New puzzle game Viewfinder has developed into a fan favorite. Viewfinder is a first-person puzzle game that tasks you with placing photographs over existing geography to modify your terrain, allowing you to reach the stage's exit. The puzzle game fans are singing its praises and begging for more. Have you seen this game? Have you seen the trailer for it? It looks pretty innovative and cool.
Yeah. And I saw people also roasting it,
clip
though.
I saw.
He's the one with he holds up the black and white photo on the bridge. And like,
well, it's the guy is playing it and he's like kind of talking, and then he places the first like photo, and then like the narrator girl in the game was like, wait a second, did you just alter like space-time reality? And then the guy stops, he's like, hold on, goes to the settings, turns off all the voice acting, then keeps playing, because it's just like, dude, that's just like loading up Halo and you shoot an alien, and Cortana, it's like, did you just shoot an alien? Like but that was one of the main clips I saw. Just like
just hold on, let me turn that off. Yeah, I like how they use the actual they use a Polaroid what's the name of that camera, Henry? Just the white one that does the square photos.
So
they
I mean,
use
there's
the
a lot
exact
of ones.
but they use the new one, or not the new, but the one that gets sold at Target, the white one, and the one that everyone has.
The one that's
it's not a mini.
sold is the one that's currently sold is based on the SX70 from the 1970s that had a white body But there's also another SX70 that's the silver one that folds up that also uses the same kind of film. I have a million different Polaroid cameras, as you guys know. So
yeah, I like it. I thought it was just really cool. I wanted to add it in here because if you're looking for like a really unique game, if it was on console, I'd probably already be playing it because it just looks like a really cool, fun puzzle game that's innovative. You don't see games that are really like super innovative and unique like that a lot these days. So I just thought it was
yeah,
pretty
no, it
sweet.
looks really cool to me. I want to try it out since I just got my new gaming laptop. I was like, cool, I can play games on PC again. I haven't been able to for a couple months.
I saw one like advanced like speed running strat, and they basically just put the picture on the ground and just started like falling through the level. Just
dude, people are crazy. I don't know how they think of that stuff. One person who's super crazy is the people at Impact Props. They shot a real-life Halo 2 battle rifle after shooting a real-life brute shot, grapple shot, and spanker rocket launcher, and the M90 shotgun. They have now added the Halo 2 battle rifle to their list. Let's check out this clip really quick. It's so cool.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm not a big gun guy, but I would take one of these. And it's single burst, by the way. Anyways, here, let's check out the clip.
As a kid, the flood scared the crap out of me. Obviously, it scares the crap out of Chief. So I made a bunch of these, and we're gonna shoot them as target practice. But each one of these flood spores has a little surprise at the end. So, should we shoot one? Just see what happens? It's time for this kernel to pop. You got lucky this time. I like mine buttered. Really buttered. Super buttered! Oh! And that's how they pop. Hey guys, is that one moving? Oh my god! Oh, run! Oh, run! It's coming for you! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no! They got you! Chief, get the battle rifle! Get that battle rifle! Chief, get this! Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it! He did it! He saved us again! Oh my god, there's more! Hey! Last shot! That's the best idea I think we've ever had.
So like there's some pretty cool stuff going on with
amazing.
This. With the sights you see right there, they actually put two different sights on there, so you can have your ACOG sight and a red dot. So that way, it's more similar when you're playing the game, where you're scoped in. And you have like your reticle, and then you also have your scope. So they did it on purpose. Impact Props on a bunch of stuff, and that's the first one that like Master Chief in the costume has actually been able to properly look down the sights and use. He kind of fires blind with all the other guns that he's shot because he can't see with the helmet and everything. So that's pretty cool. These guys, the rocket launcher is also really cool that they did because it rotates around with a motor, and it can play the motor has a button where it can play the Halo theme by Marty O'Donnell. But just like yeah, it's really cool. And they're using real rocket engines, and it reminds me of like I was planning out, and I just never got around to building it. I was planned out a propane powered spanker rifle, spanker rocket launcher that was going to shoot those Nerf footballs with like the things at the end, so they always spiral.
Yeah.
I was going to build one of those, and I was going to shoot it but then I ended up not, because I didn't trust myself knowing enough about propane yet, but I do now. So that might be happening after I watched their video. I was like, ooh, that brings me back. I need to finish that project.
I love the chaos of everything. I actually started getting nervous just watching it. So I'm like, dude, there's live rounds. And I know they edit it to make it look super chaotic, but I'm like, oh my God, dude. When they're like, shoot it. I'm like, dude, this is so stressful.
I was a little disappointed with the large flood spore. I wish they put more tannerite in there so it had a bigger explosion when they shot it.
It was a nice touch,
but,
though,
you
having
know,
them explode.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice touch. Props to those guys, man. That's so cool. I love the barrel on that
props
thing.
to Impact Props.
Impact Props. Props to Impact Props. That's some of the coolest Halo content right now, for sure. Halo fans call on 343 to add mods to Xbox via Times Square billboards. Since the 343's latest MCC update, many console players have been making a push to see Halo mods come to consoles. Halo modern content creator The Vengeful Vadam took to Twitter to share a screenshot of their booked Takeover Times Square ad that included the hashtag Bring Halo Mods to Xbox.
I would absolutely love that. Like, it's very cool. There's so many cool things that modders have done on MCC. Like, the Halo modding scene's been amazing for 20 years now. But especially recently with the dig site team that has been bringing a lot of beta content that was cut, like just finishing it and putting it out there for modders to use. We're seeing some amazing stuff. Like, I saw somebody had recreated the Macworld demo, the very first Macworld demo. So like nobody has played that since 2000, back when Halo wasn't even going to be on the Xbox, and now it's been recreated using the original assets. And I think Xbox gamers would absolutely kill to be able to do that, to try those things, as well as all the other just neat stuff that creative minds have been able to put together.
I hope they do. I think it's possible. There's other games. I'm trying to remember which ones, but there are other games that have modded scenes and they have brought them to console. So I would love to see it, and it would be a huge, huge step. Will they? I don't know. Rumor has it that this last MCC update could potentially be the last one that MCC ever gets. That's rumor.
It's really surprising that they haven't yet. It's very surprising.
But it is 343, so is it surprising?
I don't know. I feel like honestly, I don't want to be a 343 apologist, but like a lot of the stuff that they have pulled out for the modding scene is very impressive. So
we'll see. There's a big push for it. People really want it. Yeah. After 2 decades, Major Nelson is leaving Xbox. Xbox's director of programming, longtime public figure in the company's history, Larry Major Nelson Herb, has announced he's leaving Microsoft after 22 years at the company. This might be dating us a little bit, but yeah, I remember when Major Nelson was the only Xbox guy.
I always kind of, I haven't seen any of his content in a long time, but for whatever reason, it would seem to pop up back in the day. I don't even remember where I would see it. Maybe it was like on the Xbox dashboard.
I think so, yeah.
He would have his videos and stuff.
Yeah, Xbox dashboard. And then I feel like back before social media was like so omnipresent in our lives that like whenever he made a statement or something, it made it to like Kotaku and Joystick and Engadget and all the other places that we got our information from. So it was kind of inescapable back then. It feels like that if you follow Xbox, you ended up following Major Nelson because there was one and the same. He was the face of the brand. So
he used to do a feature on the Xbox dashboard.
Oh yeah,
where it would be Major Nelson's top 5 new games or something, and he would just talk about new games that were coming to Xbox, because again, pre-social media saturation, it was like that's kind of where you kind of heard about what games were coming out and stuff for Xbox. So I always really appreciate that. I always watched his videos on the dashboard. It's like, hey, here's the newest stuff coming to Xbox.
You could tell he enjoyed games, and I always thought it was cool that you could like see his gamer tag and like see what he was playing and like see his gamer score. Like the dude played a lot of Xbox games, and so that was always he always seemed like pretty genuine in his love for the games and stuff. And yeah, he did like little spots with the guy like Trixie for a while, I think, something like that. And yeah,
Xbox icon. Now imagine he goes to PlayStation, starts doing content. Yo, that would be the scandal of the century. More like
Major
minor Nelson. Am I right? Xbox releases new voice reporting feature to combat toxic in-game voice chat. The feature, available to Xbox insiders, so probably will be released to public later, will allow players to capture a 60-second video clip of an in-game voice chat and submit it to the Xbox safety team for review. Do we love this idea? Do we hate this? What do we think?
It seems a little late.
Yeah.
Like 10 years late.
Like, yeah.
Everyone's in party chat.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't even talk to game chat a whole lot, so I don't even know where people are hearing that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know it still has to happen, but like, it was like happening way more. I feel like we see. Well, there's how many memes do we see about? Today's generation doesn't understand, old school COD lobbies, and like that's like why now? We've had game DVR for like years and years. What? It's
yeah.
Or am I just missing something? It's not bad, but it just feels like really like I just figured you guys just didn't give a shit because like. I feel you would have implemented this a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
for sure. Xbox and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are creating pizza-scented controllers. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they're dropping like 4 new controllers. This is a sweepstakes. You can only enter and win them. But apparently, they smell like pizza. Is that not the weirdest thing ever? I don't know. They didn't give a lot of details. I don't know if it's scratch and sniff. I don't know how they even pull that off, but the controllers do look pretty cool.
I hope it's like
my bad.
You hope it's what?
Does it say? I hope it's like a liquid spray that's like refillable, and you can just be playing, and it'll just like spray pizza smell in your
probably face. I can ruin the magic. It's probably just
kill the magic.
An oil that just gets
an essential oil,
some kind of like scented oil that's mixed into the plastic as it goes through the injection molding.
Essential pepperoni.
And that's what I want to know. Like, what kind of pizza are we dealing with? Like, is it gonna smell like fake pizza? Like when you do you remember when they had pizza flavored Pringles? And like they only vaguely tasted like, do they?
Yeah, I've had them. They're good. I like them.
I remember
they're in a white can.
I remember as a kid going, I guess it kind of tastes like pizza. And my friend like, it tastes more like pizza if you shut your eyes and you think about pizza as you eat it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I feel like sure it does. And I wonder if it's gonna be like a scenario like that. Like, how much like pizza does it smell? And do your hands smell like pizza afterwards?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh gosh,
smell like fake pizza.
I don't know. In my perfect world where I'm a billionaire, I definitely just have like a super sick Xbox controller collection. Where I have like the Barbie controller, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles controller. I just think they're cool. I like it's art, It's just like art to me. Yeah. You like collecting art. I think it's really.
That's why I have so many arcade sticks. Same reason. Like I have arcade sticks with literal art on them, and why I put so much emphasis on like the different button colors and stuff like that. Just I don't know. It's same exact reason. I thought you were gonna say if you were a billionaire, you were gonna be like, remember the Macaulay Culkin Richie Rich, where he had like a McDonald's in his own mansion, like and just have like have like a Domino's, a staff just waiting for you to be like, one cheese pizza just for me.
Did anyone order me a plain cheese?
Xbox just got a huge library of classic retro games. Antstream Arcade offers streaming of hundreds of classic games, from arcade hits to gems, for home platforms like Amiga, Commodore 64, and ZX Spectrum, among others. Growing over time, its total offerings now number over 1,400 games. Henry, what's the good, what's the bad about Antstream?
Well, first of all,
should people get it?
It's pronounced ZX Spectrum.
ZX? Z is just the British pronunciation of Z.
It's a British computer.
There you go.
And so people will hound you if you pronounce it ZX Spectrum.
Leave a comment.
This Yankee is pronouncing it ZX Spectrum. It's the ZX Spectrum. But I haven't looked at the games on there. I think it's really cool. There's a lot of PC, like old PC titles, because those haven't got enough love. There's a ton of stuff on this thing. And some good, some bad. I sent you guys in the group chat a article that was talking about the best games on the platform, and they open it with Clay Fighter.
Why is that a bad choice, Henry, for people listening?
Well, it's absolutely horrible cash-in on the Street Fighter 2 craze, and this article even acknowledges that. So, like, I don't know why this article was written. These are the best games to play on Antstream, starting with Clay Fighter. It's not very good, and so it's... I'm sure there's really, really great stuff on there. Looking over it, I saw some really cool... very specific, very cool arcade exclusive titles that never made it to console. Yeah. Really, really awesome to get to play some of those again. It's worth taking a peek at.
What are your thoughts on it being a subscription? They do have like a lifetime license, I think, for like $80 or something like that. But you're not actually going to own the games, and if the service goes away, then they're gone.
It's one of those things where games they're all old. They've already been preserved. They've already been ripped, and they are obviously have some sort of emulator. Now, how accurate is that emulator? But that's a different kind of. I'm kind of dodging the question. Like, do I think it's fine that there's a subscription based? Yeah, sure. I think having this out there in any capacity is good. Having access to these titles and software, the software is amazing. I don't know how different this is than some other stuff. I don't remember if you guys remember GameTap.
Mm-mm.
John, you were with me at PAX one year. Do you remember that booth that had all the glowing chairs? They got mad at me because I scooted one to sit next to you, because you were like on a laptop playing something. I moved one of their glowing chairs to sit next to you, and they got mad at me. So like I made it my mission to scoot the chair slowly without them noticing and get it as far away from their booth as possible. And I got it over to like floor 2 of the convention center and left it with the beanbags. But that's not related. GameTap was the same kind of concept. So
I remember this, looking at the logo and the menu and everything.
Yeah, where you pay a subscription and you get a bunch of old games. Wasn't 1,400 games like this has, and also that was back in the early mid 2000s or so. So like the games you had access to were, it felt less impactful, I guess, because you couldn't get as much. I'm not exactly sure what the deal with that was, like if it was licensing or how it all worked out, but it's a good thing. I'm definitely all for physical media, but that doesn't shake out to how people want to access stuff. So
yeah. Last but not least, Diablo 4 Season 1 offers a change, but not for the better. Season 1 of Diablo is being met with tons of backlash after update made the game less fun for most players. After the uproar, Blizzard held an emergency fireside chat and stated, "We don't plan on doing a patch like this ever again." We could ramble about this for probably 30 minutes. We don't need to. But John, what went so wrong? We were all so excited and ready. What went so wrong?
Yeah, this was Blizzard's patch of Diablo 4 before Season 1 was seriously one of like the most out of touch moments like I've probably ever experienced with a game and developers updating a game. They literally took like so much of what the players found fun with the game and just hacked it away. And on top of everything, they keep like nerfing barbarians over and over. So the running joke is like, yeah, necromancer's bone spears like really, really good. We better nerf barbarian again.
Yeah.
And so like they had like momentum going into Season 1. People were like, oh, there's like the new mechanics, the malignant hearts, all this different stuff. And then this update came out and like, I mean, in the span of like 24 hours, literally every Blizzard game got like review bombed on Metacritic, and countless YouTube videos, people complaining about it, because they really just like made everyone's characters just like worse and like play worse. And yeah, I watched the fireside chat, and the three guys just look so defeated and depressed, and like they had gone through it. So they're reversing a lot of the stuff and trying to make things right. And they've made some promises about future updates that there's going to be better communication. They're going to release the patch notes early so people have a heads up. But it's like, yeah, I mean, people were literally spending hundreds of hours, building their character, getting it to just like the right place so they can push high-level nightmare dungeons. And then, I logged in, and with my with my sorcerer, I was able to just like solo like level 50-ish nightmares. And then I logged in and I was just getting destroyed. And so it just felt like really bad. You're here performing, just wasting enemies, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you can't do that anymore. So
this was so interesting to me. I saw a former Diablo 2 dev tweeting about this, and he doesn't work for them anymore, so he's just totally unhinged. And he was like, they know exactly what they're doing. None of this was a mistake. None of this was on accident. And he started talking about how they have in-game time quotas to hit. And he was saying, look at this change. For instance, you used to be able to just like click leave a dungeon and it would take you 3 seconds. They upped that to 5 seconds. He's like, that is a universal bad change. It wasn't for balance. It wasn't for anything. Why make it 5 seconds as opposed to 3 seconds? It just takes you longer to get out for no reason. Like, there's no reason to do that, and people cannot get their head around it. And he's like, I'll tell you why. Because they have in-game time quotas to hit. They have to keep players. They have a goal, and they want to keep players in the game for a certain amount of time. Well, what's one way you can do that? Well, you increase the time to leave the dungeon by 2 seconds. 2 seconds for each player multiplied a few million times over is hundreds of thousands of hours of in-game time that players are staying in. Boom, you hit your quota. And so it's just one of those things where it's like you're not making decisions for the better of your players. You're making decisions for your bottom line. You're making decisions to hit these quotas. And your fan base and the people who paid $80 for a complete game, mind you, are now suffering. But I do love that we live in a world where everyone digs deep into everything. So they're digging into all the details and they're holding these companies accountable. Because I guarantee you, if no one said anything, they would just let it fly and we would just suffer in silence. But everyone's standing up, everyone's saying stuff. Everyone's like, no, we're not playing now. Like, you can't do this. And I think that's great. I think that's good that we hold these companies accountable, especially after paying $80 for what we were told would be, a finished game. So very, very crazy stuff. God, I hope they get it sorted out quick. It's supposed to be tomorrow. They dropped the new update. So we'll see. Next pod, maybe things will be different, but another day in the life of a current gen gamer, huh? We never dealt with this growing up, ever. The worst thing we ever dealt with was a Halo 2 pistol that was bad.
I was gonna say the worst thing was like your cartridge not working, so you have to restart your Nintendo like 5 times.
Yeah,
that was the worst.
Yeah.
Well, anything else for the good of the pod? Any big gaming news we missed? Otherwise, we can call it there. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, whatever, blah, blah, blah. GG's. Until next time.
GG.
GG's.